Hello, hi everyone, Kelvin here from London, Stereo View X. You know the story. I review hi-fi stuff all the time, as much as I can. I'm trying to tell you what sounds good. What do we have today? This KEF Cantor, really from the heyday. I would call this the heyday of KEF electronics. KEF is Kent Engineering Foundry, yeah? This is from 1974, 25 watts, yeah, not much. This thing was designed as a bookshelf speaker. Now, we don't really talk about bookshelf speakers these days, but in the 70s, for some reason, everyone seemed to have lots of fitted bookshelves and adjustable shelves, and these are bookshelf speakers, and they are super thin, 100 mil, I think, or 4 inches, literally, I think 4 inches. So this was designed to sit flat against the wall on your bookshelf. So in a way, not an ideal scenario for your stereo speakers, but you know, as we know, people are always having to compromise for looks and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what they were doing there, but there are downsides to making a speaker this size with this driver. I will go into that any moment. Things I want to say, this range from the early 70s to mid 70s, everything begins with a C, yeah? And these are the most popular ones anyway, which is KEF Coda, 1 second. That's a KEF Coda, yeah? And then this one, KEF Cantor, KEF Chorale, which is like this but deeper. KEF Cadenza, which is a big floor stander. KEF Corelli, which is again same size as this, deeper, but with a different bass driver, a slightly different crossover. And then the big daddy of that time was the KEF Concerto. Great big 3-way speaker with that as its bass driver, with this lovely big magnet. This is a gorgeous bass driver. And then in the Concerto, they use that and that, yeah? So that's a great speaker, if you ask me. I've had them a couple of times. Why do I not still have the KEF Concerto? I think it's because they're so big and they make so much bass. They're just a bit not user-friendly. Depends what your neighbours are like, depends what your girlfriend's like, depends if you can deal with these giant boxes. And they're not too pretty. They kind of got wood down the sides too. So they're a real large, pretty monstrous, you know, big things anyway. But if you tweak the Concerto, maybe change the crossovers, I changed the wiring, maybe change the wadding in the mid-range driver and positioning, you get it right, you can get a fantastic sound from a Concerto. I mean fantastic, right? Big 3-way, gorgeous bass that you will feel. I'm digressing completely, talking about KEF Concerto. We're going to review these, which is the KEF Cantor. 25 watts, did I say that? They're good looking. The grills are real nice, yeah? They look good. So on the second-hand price market, they go for like £150. Now I think part of that is because they look good, and also they're in good company, yeah? The era of that company and what they were making at the time, they're all making a lot of good stuff there. So these kind of get, I would say, kind of pulled up a bit in price because there's some limitations in what we've done here, or what they've done here, in putting a big driver like this into a box this big. Now they've done that because they want to make the bookshelf speaker. I'm not blaming them. and that's the only driver they've got. They've got this one, or they've got the little 4-inch one. The 4-inch one's not going to do it. You know, the box is probably too big for that. So they want to have what choices do they have? They're not going to go out and make a 5-inch or a 6-inch driver just for this one purpose. You know, that is worth thinking about. When you look at ranges of speakers, you'll always see the same driver getting used. It might be a tower with 4, then there's 3, then there's 2, and then there's 1 and the tweeter. And the tweeter is probably always the same. So, but when you look at that range, the truth will probably be that a couple of those speakers are bang on. They're the right drivers in the right size box. And some of these other ones would just be like, stick another driver in it, it looks better. Or how do we make this top of the range? Well, we'll have to put more drivers in it and figure it out later, but it'll look better. So, you know, that kind of generalizes, I would say. In this range of speakers, I would say the KEF Chorale, which is like this, but deeper, that's the one that hits the mark. And actually, this coda hits the mark too. Yeah, the right size driver for the right size box. Okay, let's do the sound of this. Yeah. Now, interesting thing happened, right? I put these speakers. I've been listening to loads of speakers. I put these speakers on. I sit back and go, oh, I'm quite impressed. I'm initially impressed because I'm getting a lot of mid-range that you don't normally hear so forward. So suddenly you're hearing a few more details than you normally do. Then it takes about 15 minutes, but that's how long it took me, right? You go, I'm not getting that much bass here, and you start noticing what you're missing, and it takes a little while in time. But anyway, let me say a few things. Let me talk from my notes and give you, you'll get it. So it's airy. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of top end, not a mid band, a lot of top end. No real low bass, but you're getting the bass rhythm. You're getting the rhythm. It's quite nice rhythmically because that's a big driver. So, you know, you're getting the details of bass, but you've got no real low wallop. Yeah. I mean, truth be told, if you put these against the wall, you'll get bass rebounding and that'll give you more bass if you don't know that. You know, if you go into corners with speakers, what's actually kind of bouncing out the back will fill up, will give you more low bass. Okay, upper bass is tuneful, yeah. I'm enjoying the vocals on Rumours. I've been listening to Fleetwood Mac Rumours on my turntable and on the streamer. Fleetwood Mac Rumours back in the day, my day, was always considered like the test record, the hi-fi test record. It sounds great. It just sounds great. Lovely recording. In time, this starts getting a bit jangly. Yeah. Now, this doesn't have a complex crossover in it. Yeah. It's not, okay, it wasn't a super expensive speaker. And I'm probably doing my usual thing of judging from a very high standard. But what happens with this speaker is the whole mid-band there, which is you getting a lot of detail, but it's getting a bit jumbled. It is not focused. Now the focus you'll get in expensive speakers with expensive crossovers where they've worked on all these finer details, you know. But so what did I say? Yeah, it's getting jangly and unbalanced. I said here, do I want these speakers? Not really. I only want them because they're kind of in the middle of a nostalgic era and they kind of look pretty good, but I'm not going to listen to them, to be honest. As I say, 15 minutes, I was impressed, and then that was it. But let me just say another thing. This driver, you will see in multiple speakers from the 70s that were good, you know, in bigger boxes. This is the B200, T27. There's different versions of this with bigger magnets. Some of them, there is actually even a version of this, you know, with that magnet. Yeah, I think it's called the B139. Yeah, this is the B139. I can't remember what that's called. SP139 or something like that. But that speaker with that big magnet, you'll get in bigger speakers, bigger boxes, you know. But you'll see these all over the place, and they're quality things. Yeah, they're quality drivers. From the heyday of KEF, after the mid-70s, to me, it all started going downhill. Second, if you're just, you know, a casual observer, you know, you want to see veneer, real wood veneer, and probably, you know, this chipboard at the back. Yeah, probably this chipboard at the back. The second it starts to become wood effect, plastic, a lot of the later stuff that KEF made, you know, early 80s, it doesn't have this. They just weren't, if you ask me, they weren't trying. If you ask me, they stopped trying. And this name, Cantor, KEF reused in multiple other speakers. So it's a bit annoying and confusing, as they did with the coda. Now that's the good coda, I would say. And they use that word coda again and again. But if it's not that one, it's not the same thing at all. It's 10 years later and it's got nothing to do with it. The drivers are different, the boxes are different, everything is different. To me, this was the heyday of KEF. And I'm mad about KEF. I've had them all. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.